Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Freaks, and today we're doing something that I think some of my last actual content was, aka a tutorial slash breakdown. If you don't know what we're doing today, I did a little story not too long ago asking, what should I do as a tutorial slash breakdown? Only got a couple responses, but one of them was Riddim, and I was like, you know what? Why not? Who doesn't love Riddim? But without further ado, I'll play this a couple times. It's only 8 bars. Let's go. Boom. So that's the track we're gonna be breaking down. Without further ado, get right into this shit. Okay, so to start off, let's break down the most important part of the track, or at least one of the most important parts of the track: the drums. The drums are what gives it the flow, the beat, the groove. Obviously, you moving with the drums. If it's going slow, you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, if it's like going 150 at like, 1, 2, 3, 4 and shit, every 1 and 2, every 1 and 3, it's hitting, the drums are hitting hard. You're not gonna be going like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, unless it's like some really wonky rhythm shit, which is possible. But this is just more focused on making it heavy, with the drums being the main focus, as well as the bass. You want them both to be happy with each other. Fuck, that makes no sense. But let's hear the drums without the bass. Okay, yeah. Again, drums super simple. Just a rhythm beat, nothing too much. But I'm using Beanie God's sample pack for majority of the drums, and just using the phase 1 little rides and crashes. Because altogether, it just gives your beat a grandiose vibe. Because if I take out these phase 1 parts, the ride doesn't matter too much, but the crash, it adds a lot. Like this, it's groovy, but it's missing something, the extra layer. So we add this. Oh yeah, see? Fills it up even more. Boom. That's pretty much it for the drums, if I'm being honest. The drums, super simple, If I was to break down how to make a rhythm beat like this, it would take me as long as it just took me, because it shouldn't take any longer. It's super simple. The drums, because I do have a limiter on my master, I am able to crank my drums a little louder than normal. As you see here, I'm using a boost thing, but I've already shown you how I do that in previous tutorials. Now let's move on to the part that everyone is interested in, the bass. No one really cares about drums when they're looking at the tutorial. I didn't even make the drums, so I'm not going to break down too much on those. But the basses, now that's where it's at. This is the centerpiece of all bass music. Well, dubstep. Fuck, that's why it's called bass music, because people love the bass. So, what did I do? Use a preset I had made like a couple months ago. It's called Dark Death Stab. Super simple. I'm FMing oscillator 2. No, oscillator. I'm FMing from B. FM from B. If you use Serum, it's just FM from B. I'm muting the second oscillator, and I have the FM going like out or whatever it is. And I have Creepy Toilet. Pretty much, I'm only using this weird wavetable because it has a lot more harmonics, therefore giving it a lot more tonality, in my opinion. I could have gone simple and done the saw, but without this, this is what it sounds like. Oh yeah, if I turn up the FM, it becomes more stompy, more noisy, but this amount of FMing, is perfect, It gives it that perfect amount of juiciness. Like, let's play that again. Oh my god. Ooh. Yeah, see, juiciness. Now, a big factor to all this is also the effects. If I take off all the effects, this is what it sounds like. Let's do this with the drums, okay? I want to see how this sounds. Let's see if this slaps with the drums. No, it doesn't. That's ass. So I have a compressor cutting out the low end. You might be like, how does it have a substance? Because oscillator 3 is a designated sub oscillator, sort of like what Serum has, but I have this one going direct out so that way the effects here don't affect the actual sub, and the sub is just a simple sine, literally. And if I play just that, this is what it sounds like. Just a really fat sub. And the reason why it's sort of a lot more punchy is because I have a little thing here, a little LFO that's going at a quarter time, but it's going and ending super fast, and this is on the transpose of the sub, so that way it gives it that sort of quick thought, like punch, you know. When you without it, this is what it sounds like. Let me quickly bypass with it. And just simple stuff to give your track more heaviness, more layers, just more of a lot, you know. But let's get to showing what this bass sounds like as we add the effect. So without the compressor, I'll add the compressor while it's playing. Immediately, you can hear it get a lot more bright. Reason being, it's because it's not the low end of the oscillator 1 that's being FM'd from oscillator 2. The low end in that is no longer clashing with the low end of the third oscillator, which is just pure low end, you know? I'm cutting out the low end of oscillator 1. Perfect. Boom. Now we get just the highs from it. So if I play this, it might have some loads because the processing chain, the post-processing chain, but let's hear it. Nope. Oh, there we go. Again, simple details like that just make your sound way better. And the reason why I use Vital is because, for one, it's free. Anyone can use it. And two, I think it's better than Serum. It's like a modern Serum. But let's get back to adding the effects to the bass. So, it sounds really dry right now, really boring in a sense, but I can see how someone would go off to this. But as we add more effects, you'll see it starts to make a lot more sense, starts to sound a lot better. Let's hear it. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, chorus is the most detrimental thing in this, like the space that it gives it. Oh, it's beautiful, but it has too much of a tail to it. When I play it, you hear the high end at the end of the actual initial sound. You don't want that, so we add distortion and we have it on Big setting, so it's a lot more gritty and it's a lot more stabby. It doesn't really have a tail. I'll show you what I mean. Let's go. See, boom. Only 3 effects in the rack, in the effect rack built into Vital: compressor, chorus, and distortion for Big Crush. And these 3 just make your sound a lot better. If we played it without the rack, which again is another thing a lot of people are probably here for, is to learn about the rack that I'm using to make this. It is just simple stuff: Sound Garager, OTT, Disperser, Camouflage, and Pro R. If I take off the effects, this is what it sounds like. Add the effects. And you know what? This is a fairly simple rack. I think anyone can do this because, although it does have a few paid plugins, I'm not sure if Disperser is still a paid plug or not, because they came out with like the Essentials bundle where all those effects are free now that you used to have to pay a small price for. But it's Disperser, which can easily be substituted for the Disperser in FL Studio's Patcher if you do have FL Studio. Camel Fat, you don't even need Camel Fat, it's just a glorified Camel Crusher, and Camel Crusher is free. Boom. Pro R, you can pretty much replace this with any other reverb as long as it's sort of like you can recreate a little room like that, and You know, if you could do that, then you're pretty good. Oh yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The sub, if you want me to break down the sub effects, the sub is on the same base, so there's no sub effects because it's all on the same rack. But yeah, that's the basic breakdown. I'm gonna play it one more time just so you can get one final hear of it without me talking over it. Boom. Yeah, honestly, it's not the most mind-blowing thing, but it's just a nice little track that is primarily to help teach people. Yeah, hopefully I taught you something. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed making this. I love making bassy shit, to be honest. But yeah, be on the lookout for more to come because next year is the year I have a lot planned for. Some big plans, especially. I'm not gonna promise anything. I made some promises this year, didn't follow through on them because this year was more of a year to really work on my mix, my sound design, my ideas, and I think I've achieved a lot this year. So next year I want to actually take all this knowledge and stuff I gained this year and drop a bunch of tracks next year. But yeah, without further ado, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. Let me know what you think. Yeah, but be on the lookout for more tutorials. More coming soon. I'll catch y'all later, though. Thanks for watching again. See you.